Hey, it's syndicated radio talk show host, author, singer Al Cole, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. I come from CBS Radio. My shows are nationally syndicated, and I've helped pave the way to treating women, guys too. Coming up, we got a guy who you're really going to love, and he's going to be talking your talk. His name is Mursalin Machado, and, he's written an interesting book here. It's called The Diary of Lady X. Now, we all want that Lady X in our lives, and sometimes we do have that Lady X in our lives, and sometimes, when we do, we might lose her as well. Song of the Sea is the subtitle to this. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it's all about with Lady X. Now, Tony Lewis, it's a novel. Tony Lewis, the protagonist in the novel, is searching for the meaning of life. Does that sound familiar, people? We're all searching for the meaning of life. And as we search, we find out, if we're guys, and Tony Lewis is a guy, that a lot of that meaning of life might come out of our relationship with a woman. And especially if it's a woman who is named Lady X. Now, that's intriguing stuff. But maybe some of us don't stop there. And it's not good enough to set up a home with the woman that we love. But maybe we love the sea as well. Now, remember that song, Brandy? Yeah, that's a big, big classic song. And Brandy, you're a fine girl, and boy, how lovely it would be, maybe if you were my wife. But my love and everything else is really about the sea. So he's going to be talking about not only Lady X, but the sea as well. And he's going to merge it into something that is very gripping for all of you, not just the guys, but the women too. The Diary of Lady X, Song of the Sea, by our special guest here today on People of Distinction with Al Cole, Mursalin Machado. And I will say he was brought to us by a really great publishing company, Author Reputation Press. And if you got a book that you want to move it through authorreputationpress.com. Welcome, Mursalin, to People of Distinction with Al Cole. It's a pleasure to have you on today. How you doing today?
Great. I'm glad you got my name right. It's Mursalin Machado, and you said it right the last time.
That's right.
Well, I guess I'll just say that the book is basically a young man's adventure, and he's in the search of the meaning of life. It begins in San Francisco in the mid-'60s, at a time when the country was restless for social change. The lady refers to actually a number of ladies. There's an innocent girl he hooked up with very early on, who was an actress when he was studying acting. And there's another one as a dancer that he meets in Hawaii, and on they go. But the ladies are of mixed races and different phases in life, different. So that there's quite an interesting bit there.
Well, they say that books have some autobiographical import as well. And I know I'm a writer. And when I write, I put a little bit of myself in it, my soul and my background, my experiences. One of the things I know that my listeners are interested in knowing, when you talk about the Diary of Lady X, Song of the Sea, does that also relate maybe a little bit to your life and past experiences as well?
Well, it's autobiographical. I mean, you hit on it. I didn't tell you that at first, but it is. Mm-hmm. I began by working on a ship, government ship, which took me to some very interesting places, and then traveling on my own to various places around the world, and made many discoveries.
Discoveries and conquests, huh? And maybe some Lady X's that you met. Tell us a little bit about that. It sounds intriguing. Tell us some of your experiences that relate to the Diary of Lady X.
Well, for one thing, while I was traveling, I gained, and I didn't even know why, but I became obsessed with the idea of getting to India. and eventually I did. And the experiences that I had in India were quite extraordinary. But one of the interesting things about the book, where it starts, it goes full circle and ends where it begins. After two volumes, it's quite long, but it's broken in half, so that this volume, The Song of the Sea, is the first half, and it's followed by the second volume, which is The Journey Within. Anyway, it's full of my own personal experiences.
Yeah.
The experiences of other people who came into my life and who told me their stories. On it goes like that.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about that storyline in your book, The Diary of Lady X, Song of the Sea. Tony Lewis starts out at a certain point in life, and he's your protagonist. And how does he go about searching for the meaning of life in your novel, The Diary of Lady X?
Well, as it goes, it's not only good things that happen, but also this tragedy in other people's lives and how it affects him and his own life. And even the ship that he sails on has its own story. And the ship became called Lady X. It was a veteran of the attack on Pearl Harbor. But the story begins basically in the mid-60s, a long time after that, as the ship was brought out of the mothball fleet and recommissioned and given over to U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey, so that when he joined the ship, it was doing a survey of the ocean floor, which has led to the maps of the ocean floor, which you've probably seen, topographical maps showing the mountains and the ridges and so forth. The storms that nearly capsized the ships, and the events that happened out at sea with an attack with sharks and so on. But that's only a small part at the very beginning. And the various things that happen with the people that he meets, the dancers and so forth. Yes.
Yeah, we get it. Hey, people, if you're getting it too, well, you can get this book, The Diary of Lady X, Song of the Sea, by our special guest on People of Distinction, Mursalin Machado, and you can order it at Amazon, also Barnes & Noble. So let's flick a few more pages into your book. So he starts out.
Yes.
Okay, keep going. Tell us a little bit more.
As we get further on, he actually ends up in a war in India when they were having a war with Pakistan, and treks into the Himalayas. The experiences there. Teaching. He was teaching in a school. It's so many different aspects of it. His experiences with its students. Mm-hmm. He just experienced so many things as a result of that, which touched so many people of different ages. Not so much children, but young adults, and then older people.
Yeah.
And their stories.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, and not to mention the corruption that he encountered in the various places of even in the social systems in the different places, especially in India.
Yeah. How does he deal with corruption?
Well, by not being too much involved with it, but by exposing it where he could, and helping helping his friends to overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
There was events in Hong Kong with what was going on at the time, while it was still under the control of the British, with conflicts with the communists that were keeping things stirred, not letting the people have an easy time of it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds interesting. All right. Keep going. Tell us more. I'm
going a little blank here without trying to tell you too much of the story. My goodness. But, it's the way it's written is unusual. He experiences a lot of dreams, and the dreams are prophetic, mm-hmm. Which lead to his realizing after he's left behind the situation in San Francisco, the things that are coming ahead of him, and the things that are happening around him. He has quite a growing experience as a result of that.
All right. Now, I'm going to jump in here to help out a little bit, Mursalin. You're talking, a lot of intriguing stuff about your protagonist, Tony Lewis, and traveling here, traveling there, Pearl Harbor, and then India, Pakistan, and some intrigue with a little bit of corruption and all of that. But you ain't said too much about the actual title of the book. The title of the book is The Diary of Lady X. Where does Lady X come into this? And what kind of diary is this?
Where does the diary come in? It's actually a ship's diary. As you know, ships keep a log of every event that happens.
Uh-huh.
And at the beginning, during the attack on Pearl Harbor, it actually starts the day before that. There's an incident at sea, which I won't go into, but it's in the book. There's an incident at sea that happens, and when the captain comes into Pearl Harbor on December the 6th, the day before it was attacked, he turns in his report, and the report is kept and said that they will wait until the following Monday to bring it up because Sunday's coming up. It's going to be a holiday.
Uh-huh.
Well, that happened. So the page in the diary was removed from that day and made secret. And the ship, which was then known as Lady, became called Lady X because of her loss of innocence during the cruel events of Pearl Harbor. That's the origin of the title. But in the book, there are many ladies, and it is to do with their experiences, not only the experience of the ship, but the experiences of the people, which are all tied together by the connection with the protagonist.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
Tony Lewis.
I see. All right. Now I'm going to talk to my people here on People of Distinction with Al Cole, and I'm going to put it my way here with the Diary of Lady X, Song of the Sea. People, this goes out to you, my listening audience right now. The diary is about the ship Lady X. Now, there's a double entendre here. And imagine this is Mursalin talking right now through Al Cole's voice. The Diary of Lady X is really intriguing from at least 2 points of view, people. Number one, it is a diary of a Lady X. But that Lady X happens to be actually a ship. And some people can really fall in love with the ship. And that's the Song of the Sea. The ship that goes on within whatever we really love in terms of our concepts, in terms of our business directions, in terms of anything that has to do with the external world that we fix ourselves to at any particular point, we can call that our Lady X. And it doesn't have to be a human being necessarily. So that's one Lady X, and Tony Lewis was maybe in love with that Lady X. The sea and that ship and everything, and traveling around and having all different sorts of experiences. Then there's another Lady X, the one that's intriguing, as a female. And Tony met those Lady X's too. A lot of different women that Tony might have met in the book, The Diary of Lady X, Song of the Sea. And he wouldn't have met them except for that ship Lady X, going from port to port, maybe meeting a woman here, a woman there, and still loving and being faithful to that Lady X that he really loves. That beautiful, beautiful boat, that ship. That's in his heart forever. And that's the Diary of Lady X. That's the Song of the Sea. And that is the meaning of life, people. The meaning of life lives in whatever we love. See, love is the meaning of life. And when we love a ship so much and the sea and traveling around and meeting all sorts of people and having all sorts of different experiences, we grow. And we grow internally until we get to that point where we say, wow, I can share this with other people and help them to grow too. The meaning of life is really sharing that love that we have with other people and really embracing their love too. And that's what Mursalin is really talking about with the Diary of Lady X, Song of the Sea. Does that make some sense the way that I put it there, Mursalin?
Oh, yes, indeed, yes. Yes. But,
All right.
he was so attached to the ship, and the ship has a tragic, almost near tragic end itself because it's about to be scrapped because it's so old. So there's that story, that aspect of old as well. Something gets old and gets scrapped.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tries to save it.
Now, we're going to cap off the show. It's a spotlight interview. Going to cap off the show with some possibility thinking here. I want to put it in the way that maybe my listeners, they're going to get really, really enchanted by this. If everybody had that beautiful Lady X within them, the one that I was talking about, the one that creates the love of their life, whatever that is on the inside, that soul, that meaning for life that your protagonist Tony is looking for, if we all created our own Lady X and put that beautiful diary in our heart and lived that way, whether it's the sea or whatever, what kind of world would that look like in terms of that love potential that we could all have if we knew what we really loved and we lived it out that way, maybe in the same way that Tony Lewis does? What kind of world would that look like that it doesn't look like now? Give us a quick reflection on that.
Yes, of course. We all have a longing. We all have a need for love. Every individual has a need for love, and the question we always have is how in the world to find it. And then it comes or it doesn't come, and we have to go look for it, or it looks for us somehow. But that is at the heart of it all. I mean, it's silly to say the word heart because that's supposed to be where the love is, but that is where it is. And we need each other. We cannot really get by without other people in our lives.
Well, absolutely. And see, that's the meaning of people of distinction with alcohol as well, people. As you know, my listeners know that. That's why you listen. We talk about the meaning of life in every different show that we do in terms of passion. Whatever is passionate about your life, your heart, something that you really want to live out. And sometimes you live it out in a book. Other times you might live it out in some other product or service. Sometimes you live it out in your family life, or sometimes you live it out in multi ways. Yeah, all of those things combined. Live out your passions, people. Live out your dreams, and you will live out the meaning of life when you live out what you really do love. And that's a big message, too, of the Diary of Lady X, Song of the Sea, by our special guest here, Mursalin Machado. And I know I'm pronouncing his name different times, sometimes Mursalin, sometimes Mursalin. I understand that. But you're going to see when you go to Amazon and Barnes & Noble, you're going to see the Diary of Lady X, Song of the Sea, and then you can figure out the pronunciation on your own, people, when you see that wonderful name in that book cover. And he was brought to us by a wonderful publishing company, his publishing company too, Author Reputation Press. For your book needs and moving your book, go to authorreputationpress.com. Thank you so much, Mursalin. This has been my special, really a special treat to have you on the show talking about your book, The Diary of Lady X. Thank you so much, and all the best to you and your book. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.